The delay paradox: why we procrastinate and how it shapes our lives. In a world that increasingly rewards speed, efficiency, and constant productivity, procrastination seems like an irrational flaw, a stubborn refusal to act when action is clearly required. Yet, despite centuries of moral warnings and modern self-help strategies, procrastination remains a deeply ingrained human habit. From students postponing assignments to professionals delaying critical decisions, the tendency to put things off is not merely laziness. It is, in fact, a complex psychological phenomenon that reveals much about how we think, feel, and cope with pressure. At its core, procrastination is not about time management, it is about emotion management. This distinction, though subtle, is crucial. When faced with a task that feels overwhelming, boring, or anxiety-inducing, the brain instinctively seeks relief. Avoiding the task provides immediate emotional comfort, even if it creates long-term stress. In this sense, procrastination functions as a short-term coping mechanism. We are not simply delaying work, we are prioritizing our present emotional state over future consequences. Neuroscience offers further insight into this behavior. The human brain is often described as a battleground between two systems: the limbic system, which governs emotions and seeks instant gratification, and the prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning, decision-making, and self-control. When we procrastinate, the limbic system effectively overrides the more rational prefrontal cortex. This internal conflict explains why we can fully understand the importance of a task and still fail to begin it. Interestingly, procrastination is not always driven by laziness. In many cases, it is linked to perfectionism. Individuals who set excessively high standards for themselves may delay starting a task because they fear producing work that does not meet their expectations. This creates a paradox: the desire to do something perfectly prevents it from being done at all. Similarly, fear of failure, or even fear of success, can lead to avoidance. If one never fully commits to a task, one never has to confront the possibility of falling short. The digital age has amplified these tendencies. With smartphones, social media, and endless streams of entertainment, distractions are more accessible than ever. Platforms are carefully designed to capture attention and provide instant rewards, making them particularly appealing when compared to demanding or unpleasant tasks. The result is a culture in which procrastination is not only common but, in some ways, structurally encouraged. However, not all procrastination is inherently harmful. Some researchers argue that a certain degree of delay can foster creativity. Allowing ideas to incubate in the background may lead to more original solutions. This form of deliberate procrastination, sometimes referred to as active procrastination, differs from avoidance. It involves consciously choosing to delay a task while remaining mentally engaged with it. Nevertheless, this strategy requires discipline and awareness, otherwise, it can easily slip into unproductive habits. The consequences of chronic procrastination, however, can be significant. It is associated with increased stress, reduced academic and professional performance, and even negative effects on mental health. Over time, repeated delays can erode self-confidence, creating a cycle in which individuals come to see themselves as incapable of change. Breaking this cycle requires more than simple willpower. Practical strategies often focus on reducing emotional resistance rather than forcing productivity. Techniques such as breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps can make them feel less intimidating. Setting clear, achievable goals helps to create a sense of progress, while removing distractions limits opportunities for avoidance. Equally important is the cultivation of self-compassion. Harsh self-criticism tends to reinforce procrastination, whereas a more understanding approach can encourage constructive action. Ultimately, procrastination is not a sign of moral weakness but a reflection of the human condition. It highlights our struggle to balance immediate feelings with long-term goals, to act in the present while imagining the future. By understanding its underlying mechanisms, we move closer to addressing it, not through guilt or pressure, but through insight and intentional change. The question is not why we procrastinate, because, in many ways, the answer is clear. The more compelling question is how we choose to respond to that impulse. Whether we yield to it or learn to navigate it may well determine not only our productivity, but the shape of our lives.